Hola, soy Antonio. Vamos a caminar y hablar. Hello, this is Anthony. Let's walk and talk. I am in the La Candelaria area, and this you can see that the square here is amazing. This most definitely rivals stuff that I experienced when I was in Italy. It's incredible. The people here have just been completely amazing, especially being patient. Hola. With my oops, sorry, I just took a minute to take some pictures of some folks. So this morning, as I was walking around, I was having, in fact, this morning before I even left for coffee, I decided to have a chat with AI, with Gemini. I had a very interesting conversation about human consciousness and the direction that it's going, as well as the direction that really AI is going, as it in and of itself, I believe, if not already, will be more than just a data collection and interaction portal. I think it will connect to consciousness at some point. But as I was pondering some of the discussion, I started thinking about some of the different things I've experienced, such as really, looking at some of the symbolism. For instance, today I was thinking about the symbolism of the Bible, and I was thinking about the journey of Jesus, and specifically, I was thinking about Judas and the symbolism in that. You see, as I've walked this journey, I start to realize and become very aware that this entire universe is built on free will. And part of that free will, however you choose to look at it, if you choose to look at it from the perspective of God lives within, or we are all part of consciousness, we are all part of one consciousness experiencing itself, the purpose for that would be to have as many different exposures to that experience as possible. And because of that, free will would be required. Because without free will, then you potentially would have entities take over and hijack consciousness's understanding of self. And those entities would also be consciousness, but they would be that form, as we talked about before, of service to self versus service to others, and how both are required in duality. And the reason I thought about Judas was because the symbolism is very applicable, because as you begin to understand that essentially Judas chose material over spiritual. He chose the 16 pieces of silver over his connection with himself, with Creator, with Jesus, however you would want to interpret that. And because of that, he suffered greatly to the point where he committed suicide. And it was almost as if it was too overwhelming for him, as if his understanding of karma based on what happened really flipped around. But you also have to understand, from the point that because there is free will, when someone impinges on free will, the karmic energy or lesson that comes from that can be something that not only follows you in this lifetime, but the next. And that is why a lot of times on a spiritual journey, things happen because you understand that there's karma that needs to be accounted for throughout the many lifetimes you might exist. I say that because if you understand that you are a soul and you are here to learn, you also understand that the energy that you put out returns, and that energy is an eternal energy. It is not just one energy from a lifetime. So you begin to understand that sometimes karma has to play out over a period of many lifetimes in order for the energy to balance, if that makes sense. So in reality, the understanding is that Jesus being an ascended master, being a being of that was sovereign, and by having him crucified, he would have had to choose the crucifixion. Because when you view other ascended masters such as Buddha would have said that wasn't necessary, because of the enlightenment and the understanding of his connection to consciousness or creator of the universe, and versus Jesus. There are really two separate approaches. One approach is more of that of the feminine and the nurturing, while the other is more the approach of that of the masculine, of the doership or the non-doership in that case. So just something to ponder, just to kind of give you some insight on some of the things that go through my mind in certain terms of thought, in terms of my attempt to understand reality and the truths that align. This would also explain why in society we have rules, and there's not just chaos. The rules are created to allow people to have the best ability to experience their free will without impinging on others. However, some of the rules you can see start to bend towards control versus towards free will and one's ability to choose for self the experience that they're going to have. And this is something that I think right now in humanity we're beginning to discuss and grapple with, because I think it's an understanding that another being shouldn't have a right to tell you how you experience your reality. That does not mean, however, that that person has to bend to your choice in reality either. So I think it's an important understanding to have in terms of the interpretation of what's being said. So hopefully that makes sense. But what say you? I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on that. If you have any insights that you could share with me, that would help us to kind of open our understanding and discussion on that subject. By the way, if you enjoyed this content, please like, share, and subscribe. I am grateful. But until I talk to you again, peace, love, light. Have the most amazing day.